Ready?
Yeah.
Alright, wave at the camera. Hello everybody, you know me. Okay, no you don't, but you know who I am. I am Issa J, and alongside me as always
is your Small Crescent Alliance World Heavyweight Champion of Picking Things, Liam Landry.
Yes, congratulations last week. That was a back and forth one right there to the end. Thank you, Stephen Larson, for giving us that new system. It definitely raises the stakes, I feel.
Yeah.
All right, so
say back and forth. There's more like a almost comeback there.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a 20-point lead, and then you were trying to make a return, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Then like the onside kick didn't work for you or something.
Yeah, I was right there. I ended up getting the lead. Got too greedy. Went for a Hail Mary just to solidify it, and then completely lost it at the end.
Yeah, it's like a pick six at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Heartbreaking defeat for you.
Yes, but very well deserved victory for yourself.
Yeah.
How was your week, Liam?
It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing too much. I just started watching some more of this. Started in general watching these series of sports video game playthrough stuff, where this guy, what does his YouTube go by, like not the answer, that thing, where he does football series where it's like new Madden franchise, but it's like the worst, or like a NCAA franchise, but it's all walk-ons. So he has to try to build everything up and try to compete. Can make some interesting stuff, especially when he makes games close, when he can actually do that, you know. One of the most thrilling things with his Madden one, with his worst franchise, the London Black Knights, is his punter. It's like it's got to be like the greatest punter. It's like best player on his team is his punter. The amount of times he's like down and at the one.
Wow.
Incredible. But yeah, he took the place of Tampa Bay Buccaneers with that. So it's been pretty interesting just to see the build up and trying to make comebacks. So I've been watching a lot of that. How about you? Have you been watching anything of interest?
Yeah, finished American Horror Story Coven finally, which was the third season, the season I was actually a part of. That was really, really interesting. Also started Tiger and Bunny, a superhero anime. Kind of like The Boys, or The Boys, my bad. It's kind of like The Boys, except not as MA rated, and where corporations are backing superheroes, and they can't just be a superhero. They have to apply to the television rules, what the backers want, all this stuff. And it's really interesting in how they do it, because not only The Boys, you have a lot more American sensibilities. This one, you get a lot more Japanese sensibilities. And on top of that, finished more seasons of Survivor, getting all the way to season 39. Definitely planning on applying soon, so hoping that goes well.
That's fine.
Well, getting picked.
Oh.
Yes.
Be crazy. I didn't know they were still doing it. That's what did you get to the season where you had Johnny Survivor?
Yeah, Johnny Fairplay.
Yeah.
Fun fact. My very first season of watching Survivor was his second season. It was the it was the fans versus the favorites, and he was a favorite. And he comes in, and I'm like, oh, this guy is funny. And he gets eliminated in the first episode of that season. The season that he's actually in, his original season, we which is season 7, we watched, and he apparently was a wrestler for TNA at a time, and he did manager work and stuff like that too. Also funny, when I saw him, it didn't say Johnny Fairplay in his original season because we didn't know him yet, but it said John something, and then I was like, that dude looks so. Is that Johnny Fairplay? I think that's Johnny Fairplay. So I've seen him before, and I actually finally seen his original season too. He said his grandmother died, but his grandmother did not die. It's so messed up. But yeah. We are almost to season 16, which is the very first season I actually saw.
Just say those, make more reference to John Morrison.
Oh.
It's his season.
That's right, he did do Survivor.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I was saying.
That was, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. He's like season 30 something. Yeah. So, yeah, nowhere near that season. I completely forgot that he mentioned he was on the show.
Yeah, that's why I was doing Survivor. Just like he does, like Johnny Impact.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Johnny Fairplay.
No, it's not the same Johnny Survivor.
So you let me go on that whole tangent.
I wasn't even sure where you were really going for because you didn't like go out and say. It's like it was really at the point when you talked about the grandmother dying that I was like, oh, okay, I know that because like I didn't know, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are about to. I think we are about to see Ashley Massaro's season.
Well, are you gonna get into other American Horror Story ones?
Yeah, I've seen Murder House.
I would have to Coven.
The one after Coven is Freak Show. I will be starting that one.
Then it's like Hotel, right?
Yes, then Hotel.
Then it's Apocalypse, or is Apocalypse later?
Then it's Roanoke. Then it's Cult. Then it's Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm. And
I know
it's 1985,
which is just coming out. Yeah,
I think it's just past Wednesday.
Which is
which is gonna be a 80s slasher camp thing instead of a dystopian government thing, which you would think would be the obvious reference for 1984. Unless they shake things up, you never know.
It's very possible because even though this last season was about witches and stuff, they still did some U-turns and detours throughout the season. Asylum, the second season, possibly my favorite season. So far it's between. I've only seen 3, so it's between Asylum and Coven. I haven't really focused on which one is my favorite, but that one had a lot of elements. Of course, they had the Asylum ghost stories, but then you also had demon possession. You also had alien abduction. You also had serial killer, bloody face. You also
They sound like the X-Files, you know.
Mm-hmm. You also had Catholicism-esque things going on. There's a lot. Homosexual persecution going on in that season. So there was a lot there. But that's probably why I like that one so much, is because they had a lot and they were still able to wrap everything up. But yeah, kind of sort of looking forward to Freak Show, but also kind of sort of not, because I'm not the biggest fan of the macabre. I like the gothic stuff, which is why I liked Coven and Asylum enough, and the Supernatural, which is why I like Asylum. But then, we also had Nazis in Asylum. Yeah, did not. Not a big fan of the macabre and the two-headed people or circus folk. So it'll be interesting to see how I feel in that season when I get to it.
At the same time, we're also going to be watching the Destruction and Code. So if you see a Sphero, if that looks like they're trying to get through some of the last rounds of a Young Lion tournament here.
Mm-hmm.
So far, this has a lot of great opening grappling here for this match. A lot of real good back work and standing grappling. Now he's going to some limb targeting here. But
You would expect Shota Umino to win the whole thing because of his not alliance, but his I've been watching way too much Survivor. His partnership with John Moxley. But who knows? I don't even know what the scores are. Do you?
no, I mean we have it on mute, so we can't really hear it. I think for the last one, I think it was mostly tied, and it was a real big thing about winning there. And this is not run by Ren Narita, which would be another one you think had a lot of potential for his stint in the best of the Super Juniors and everything. It's real good.
Yeah, he just lost that last match we saw.
So this is our podcast, so we'll go to our first segment.
Yes.
Which is wrestling news outside of the WWE. Trying to cover as much wrestling news as possible for things not in the WWE itself, but still covered in wrestling. Okay.
That was a good fun splash.
Yeah, so which one do you want to start with?
We'll start with Big Cass. And this was upsetting to hear because it was sounding like he was turning a new leaf, getting his life situated, and then this past week, the day of Clash of Champions for an indie show with Joey Janela and a couple others, he came in there drunk and he started making a lot of he disturbed a lot of people there.
They take a large snake and pretend it was his penis.
I don't think he did that.
That's a reference to Jake the Snake Roberts.
Okay.
You know, some like pay-per-view where it was like he was so bad they had to change the last two matches and just make him a tag team so that he couldn't do anything, and he was like going around with the snake pretending his penis, like pointing up to women and stuff, and then like I think he grabbed one woman's hand, like rubbed it across his body. It was like it was really bad stuff. And it's
wow.
He's recovered from there. But anyways, yeah, back to the
So after a while, he was escorted out of the building, and then a couple of days later, on Real One, the former Enzo Amore's Twitter, he sent out an apology, and he was saying that he struggles with alcoholism and those demons, and he's gonna, when he's able to, he's gonna go get the help that he needs. So we're hoping the best for him, but this was a very unfortunate setback for him, especially when a lot of people were thinking he has definitely made progress. What are your thoughts on it?
It's definitely sad. Hope he gets the help he needs. Maybe he needs some DDP yoga. It's help turn people's lives around. But
I think it said that he was starting it.
That'd be good. It's hope that he gets better and helps turn his life around. We don't want to see people destroy themselves. It is not good. How about some news on a seemingly somewhat positive side? There's still a lot of stuff up in the air about this, but it seems that Kylie Ray is returning to wrestling. She is booked as a replacement for a match, an intergender match against Isaiah. What's what he say it was before?
Isaiah Velasquez.
Yeah, Velasquez. In an intergender match at the for an event for Freelance Wrestling, which is a Chicago-based indie wrestling group. This will be, like I said, an intergender match. It will be a show. Their show called Game of the Genders. So I'm guessing it's a show built around intergender wrestling. trying to promote, on that. So yeah, so that's. Let me see, what was the date? I know it said Saturday night, so I'm guessing this next Saturday, unless it was last night. It does not actually say anything about the date, because this news came out yesterday. It's from the Wrestling Observer, so I would assume, I guess, either last night or this upcoming Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It did not specify. Okay, so now we see the actual winner here.
It was Carl Fredericks, and it looks like he won the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they bring out the trophy for him. So this is, like I said, pretty good news. We still don't know a lot of the background situation to why she left AEW and all. But it's a positive sign, seeing that she's not retiring and is being able to get back in the game and do what she, we assume she loves to do. She loves wrestling. So hopefully any personal matters have been, fixed and squashed, and allow her to get back. So let's look at some good news.
Yeah. And hopefully the match is a good one. We only wish the best for Kylie Ray, obviously, and her future endeavors.
And we also wished for indie wrestlers to have more easily pronounceable names. A lot of people may not think that, but it's a big part of picking a wrestling name, is making sure people can read it easily. Say it, chant it. I mean, how are you gonna chant that name? I'm just saying. So I mean, we had this one tournament here. We got the victory. Did you want to do the next story on another tournament? Or
yeah, let's do it.
Later?
What do you think is bigger news? The tournament winner or the interview from one Kenny Omega?
I guess the AEW stuff is bigger.
No problem.
Just compared to like American audience.
Especially since we are the primarily a Japanese audience.
Yeah.
One, Hana Kimura, Hana Senpai. She just won the 5-Star Grand Prix, which is Stardom's tournament. She ended up tying with. Let me just quickly get, because they didn't announce. They didn't show all of the final points, but it was. She was in red block, and she ended up tying points wise with. I'm pretty sure it was Momo. Yes, she tied with Momo Watanabe, but because she previously beat Momo already, she had the tie advantage, the tiebreaker, so she was able to go to the finals. She ended up wrestling Hazuki earlier this morning, for us at least. It was nighttime for them, and got the victory there. And then
Is Bullet Club coming out?
It's Peter and Tokyo Pimp Takahashi. I do not know his first name. I know it's not Hiromu though. And then on the blue side, it was Jamie Hayter and B. Priestley facing off against each other earlier this morning to see what would happen. Jamie needed to win this match. However, she went in a 15-minute time limit draw to tie with Konami because Konami had already beaten Jamie. Okay, that's not what happened at all. So I'm confused about that. Anyways, regardless, Konami went into the finals. It's Konami, a part of Tokyo Cyber Squad, and Hana Kimura, the leader of Tokyo Cyber Squad, and Hana got the victory. Congratulations, Hana Kimura. I was rooting for her from the get-go, and I only changed who I was rooting for because I thought she didn't have the points to win it, or at least go to the finals. But she won.
Yeah, that's why you called her Senpai, right?
Mm-hmm. But yeah. And now let's move on to that little tease of AEW. Do you have some of the words that was used and all?
Well, we can go over some other stuff with the AEW. The announcement that the the show that's going to be on Wednesday is going to be called Dynamite.
Yes.
There was rumors beforehand. There was a trademark for the name Tuesday Night Dynamite, but now it's just Dynamite, not Wednesday Night Dynamite. I don't know why, but they just went with Dynamite. There was, of course, a little controversy with that, some insensitive stuff, as Cody Rhodes was saying, how much he loves mascots, and if she should have a person in a T-Rex suit throwing dynamites, as dynamites,
Mm-hmm.
And this, of course, was very offensive to Luchasaurus, so there's going to be some explanations there. He had to explain himself there,
That was funny.
But outside of that, but outside of that, there was also news of Cody.
Is that the other son?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there was other news as well of Cody saying that they were looking for it's going to be a 2-hour show on TNT, but they were going to have a new third hour be added for to be on Bleacher Report, live, what they used before in the past. So it's going to be an interesting thing to go to like a third hour wrestling. People aren't exactly sure. It's wasn't explaining directly what this is going to be, as if it's like a third hour of the same continuous show, or if it's going to be like non-canon wrestling, or if it's going to be like aftermath type show where they'll have maybe some promos and talking and discussion, like talking smack, but with wrestling included. Who knows?
Definitely interested in it.
Stephen Lawson, they were joking about what to call it. They called it the cleanup, saying hosted by Kenny Omega, but now I start to think that should be called the cleanup, and it should just be all the matches Kenny Omega will have in AEW. It would just be the hour-long match, no interruption, so that he can get his time. So every week it's another hour-long match from Kenny Omega with someone else.
Trying to milk those 5 stars from Dave.
Yeah. So what do you think of this news development here?
I think it's an interesting name, and the 3 hours, it could potentially backfire, because we already have 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of NXT, 2 hours of SmackDown. I know last week we reported 205 Live, it will be no more, but they're going to get infused with NXT. And then that's on top of all the other stuff that are out there, whether it's NXT UK, which is another 2 hours, or that might drop to 1. And then we have New Japan, Stardom, and many, many more. Noah, AAA. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to incorporate a third hour and make it seem fresh.
Yeah, so it's questioning if they should go for that type of extension or just make it, like you said, longer storytelling, just use 2 hours, because it could be a risk. But that's what people are saying, like we don't know what it is. If it's not canon stuff, then it could be easier because it could allow people to skip it from time to time, just come in for it if they want to see these special matches. It's it's really up there. It may be used for building up some still developing talent. So we have to see what it's going to be, but it is risky to go to 3 hours now with as much wrestling as they already have out there. You don't want to make it a chore for people to go through, especially since it's going to be on a different platform as well.
100%.
So, but yes, for the other big story, Kenny Omega, who was, in an interview, he was asked about AEW competing with NXT, and he basically, just to narrow down what he said was that people don't want to see developmental talent, they want to see stars, and that's why they'll watch AEW. It should be said that this is really just an in-character interview. Even before that, he was, cutting a promo on a question for John Moxley, who's coming at the next pay-per-view.
Which I think is Full Gear, yeah.
He was in character for the most part, so it was just an in-character type thing. And it looks like in wrestling, it was mostly still looked at as that. That's kind of one of the big things when you look at, say, for Seth Rollins. Like, when Seth Rollins initially said his stuff about how great, he is and the roster is, most people just kind of looked at it as normal kayfabe, promo stuff that you would do on Twitter. It was, and even Will Ospreay probably looked at it that, which is why he responded back the way he did, as kind of back and forth type thing. It was only until the response came back when it's like, oh, is he trying to be serious and hey, I'm legitimate in that, and all the other stuff that came from it. Compared to this, it's looked at as much more of back and forth. It's not like no one's taking it serious. I just saw a little while ago, actually, I think someone asked him, Kenny Omega, it's like, what about Matt Riddle? And then it's like, nah, Matt Riddle is good, he's my bro. And Matt Riddle responded with, bro, yeah, something like that. And it's like, so it's clearly just little jabs back and forth type things. And no one should really look too far into it. And I don't think he really looks at that. For one thing, most of NXT is even really just made of indie talent to begin with. It's rarely it's difficult to even look at as a developmental program because of how much they just take in already established talents.
Like Matt Riddle or all of Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of them. The only few that are really developmental that are given a lot of screen time is I think Velveteen Dream, Dijakovic, and the two of the horsewomen. Other than that,
the other
a lot
two
of them
because people may not know that. Oh, you also forgot to see Velveteen Dream.
No, you said Dream, and I was
okay.
and I agreed with you.
But people may not know this, but even Shayna was really an indie talent and trained in PWG beforehand. But so it's,
I was talking about Jessamine Duke.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying the other two, and saying instead of thinking all three of them, that's why it's only those two compared to the other one. So it's a lot of not really developmental talents, and of course everyone knows that's just once again normal jabs back and forth. It's not really looked at as a super harsh thing. So that was it. Do you have any more news from outside WWE?
Not that I can recall. If there's a title change and we see it, we will mention it. But it's time to move on to our second segment of the podcast. It is news inside of the WWE. It's just like the last one, but now it's specifically WWE related. And we're just going to talk first about NXT USA run. I don't debut. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, we can talk about the ratings are in from the Nielsen company, saying that they got a 1.2 million viewers for their debut on the USA Network. A nice showing. Now it's questionable if it's going to keep up because debuts tend to be higher than most other ones. But let's see if it keeps going. This also says here, according to the rep, that that part isn't relevant to this one, but they were saying 1.2 million for this first week. The other one was making reference to the last time they had a USA a show on USA, which didn't actually get to the millions. The last time they had that USA special, the one where they took off the women's match. That's what I remember. But yeah, so the 1.2 million is a really good showing for the first part there.
That was like a really good sell of a packaged pile driver.
Yeah, it is. And that's a Bullet Club victory there.
Yujiro.
Yes, Yujiro Takahashi. He took you pimp.
Peter just slapped Chase Owens.
Yes. Anyways, yeah. So 1.2 million is a good opening show. Let's see how it does for the next few weeks.
Worst case scenario, their viewers don't watch it on USA and they just watch it the Thursday after when it premieres on WWE Network. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, and then keeping it in.
That Fale is wearing a shirt that has something about rugby on it. This is shot at
Taguchi?
Yeah, Taguchi. Ryusuke Taguchi. I know it was a Bullet Club victory there, and good opening show for NXT. Do we have any other NXT news that we want to cover here?
Yeah, we had a title change. Velveteen Dream is no longer your North American champion. It is now Roderick Strong, a part of Undisputed Era, which means the prophecy where the Undisputed Era is draped in gold has come to fruition. Your tag team champions down in NXT are Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Obviously, your NXT World Heavyweight Champion is Adam Cole, Bebe, and now Roderick Strong, the Messiah of the Backbreaker, is now your North American Champion. There is no woman a part of the Undisputed Era, so they can't claim that title. But all the other titles they do now have.
Gotta get some Women of Honor talent in NXT.
Or they can bring down Hana Kimura. But she's probably going to be pushed to the moon right now at Stardom, so probably that's not happening.
It has to be ROH related. It's the ROH stable.
I guess so. They all are part of the Ring of Honor, aren't they?
Yeah, they were.
But yeah, so and then we crowned a number one contender for Shayna Baszler's championship. It is Candice LeRae. She defeated Io Shirai, Mia Yim, and who does that?
Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair, thank you. Defeated those three ladies in a fatal four-way match. So Candice LeRae will be taking on Shayna Baszler. I don't think this week, but the week after, for the first head-to-head episode against AEW Dynamite. So that's pretty big news there. And then if you want to go across the pond to NXT UK, Tegan Knox is coming back and will be facing Kaylee Ray, not Kylie Ray. I can see how you got confused there. She'll be taking on Kaylee Ray for the NXT UK Women's Championship. So a lot of things happening in the world of NXT. And Leo Rush is the #1 contender for the 205 Live Championship against Drew Gulak coming up at a later date. So yeah, a lot of stuff happening. And anything else NXT related you can think of? That
well, there was NXT releasing a whole bunch of shirts.
Oh yeah, that everyone hates.
Yeah, they were mostly not very good shirts.
Mm-hmm. Did you see them?
Yes, I did see them, and they were not very good shirts. For the most part. So when it was, what it seems like is that maybe the idea behind them making the shirts the way they did, I saw like a picture that didn't look that bad of like all the shirts, and they were folded, like how a store would have them folded on the table, and like they didn't look as bad when it was like that. And I think that maybe is the problem, is that they were attempting to make shirts look better when they're that way. But I don't know why you would bother doing that, since you did show the shirts off as, full length presenting on the website, and even in like fantasy shows they have them hanging up more like that, and even in stores they would normally hang them up like that, so you see it more in full. Yeah, because that's always the thing, is that vast majority of them were so small and up in the chest that it was like, compared to like both these shirts, where the logo takes up most of the shirt, they just all looked very awkward that way. They didn't look as awkward when folded because of that. Yeah. But it was like all of them were very small. Most of them were very basic, just like very basic fonts.
That's so weird.
And very rarely did they have stuff that even really alluded to the wrestler, characteristics wise. I would say one of the worst was probably Kona Reeves, which was just Kona Reeves in like gold text, basic gold bold text with like 2 lines underneath it. And it's like, it doesn't really make sense. He's supposed to be like this, like, look at me, I'm super fancy type guy. I would say when I was trying to think of what would be a better shirt for him, I ended up accidentally creating what was the Street Profit shirt, which was another one that was actually good, because it's like at the bottom Street Profits in like gold and diamond text, and like pictures of them on it, but like with like up top saying like "Get the Smoke" or something like that. But that's what something I would actually see for like a Kona Reeves, because it's like he's very into himself, so it'd be a picture of him with like the finest on top, and like on the bottom we have his name, because once again he's the finest, so it's big gold diamonds, look shiny. But the way it is so basic, it doesn't incorporate anything from his character, so it's probably one of the worst in there. But a lot of them are very, very basic, very thrown together. It's upsetting because I felt like they could have done a better job if they were like, hey, Twitter, we're putting out a contest for people to make shirt designs, and like gave the winner like $50. They probably could have gotten much better designs for it. We have Kinshin Liger. Super like, since Liger is, retiring soon, they wanted to make sure to get Kinshin Liger in there. I don't remember when the first debuted precisely, but basically what happened was he was in a pretty big match. They thought he was beat down, and wasn't finished. The guy he was facing was ripping his mask off, and eventually he ripped fully off, but he actually popped up with the Kinshin Liger, and just basically kind of went to super Liger mode. It's basically kind of like in an anime. It's his other form. Yes, like so. Like when he's irregular Liger, he's like, this isn't even.
Holy crud!
Yeah, and he was legit taking that spike. So.
What the heck?
But it was kind of going up to this beforehand because Suzuki was attacking Liger and trying to rip off his mask.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to rip off here, so he's like, you know what, I'm just going to do it and go to his final form. Like I said, they're going to try to do, a lot of the big hits for Liger.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to go out on. And this match just get called because of that. Because, I think it would, after a ref gets attacking, someone almost gets spiked to death. But can the Young Lions keep Kingston Liger away from Suzuki? That's the real question here. So these shirt designs, even Tanahashi can't stop them. Just took a shot to the gut. The shirt designs were very kind of poor. It's even made poorer when I saw someone point out on Twitter that they're at Full Sail University, which would have graphic designer classes. Mm-hmm. So they could have even done that. They could have just gone to hey, can we? It's like this is a class project.
Uh-huh.
And you have the character, and they could even work with the wrestler and be like, hey, what do you want? And they could have just had students go, and I'm sure they would have made better stuff
Mm-hmm.
than what ended up coming up. I'm not sure if it was just a situation where the people making the shirt for the company was just so pressed for time to make all these shirts, or if they were just limited in ways, because we know that's what WWE ends up doing a lot of times, is just limiting people, not allowing them to actually go out. But they went out for, like I said, Velveteen Dream, Street Profits, but it's it was pretty rare.
Yeah, just your main top stars are getting the good stuff.
Yes, and even Joey Ryan had to point out that proved that AEW is not only a t-shirt company, it's the t-shirt company. Though he still also showed that he bought a Candice LeRae shirt to help support her. Yeah,
they're former tag team together.
That wasn't that bad. That one, it was like a little candy with Candice LeRae on it. So it wasn't that bad. It kind of it got the point. But there's so many of them. I felt man, it was so tiny. It's they could have done more things with it.
Yeah.
Real shame there.
I think the last major thing that I can think of is for NXT news is that the double hour thing where 1 hour is on USA, the second is not, is going to end next week because what is it called? It is Suits is having their season finale, so they're going to be moving Suits to another date after all said and done, but they have to get through this season first.
Man, I wonder if a lot of this NXT going to USA is really just based around the fact that they needed something to replace Christina's best. Did you hear about that situation with the tax evasion? Yeah.
One of the funniest things, the last season, the winner, after the winner was announced, the host, Jeff Probst, goes, and remember to pay your taxes, because the very first winner actually, the very first winner of Survivor actually did tax evasions as well.
We got some chaos here. We got my boy Gio and Show.
My boy Will Ospreay.
The Sex Pig. We got Yoshihashi. And we got my other boy, Tomohiro Ishii.
Mr. Stone Pit Bull.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was I think that's all the news for. I think that's all the news for NXT. The last one, Imperium, crashed the party, and it's going to be Walter versus Kushida.
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting.
Unless it just turns into more big man, little man. for 2 hours this time.
Instead of just a 1.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was for NXT stuff. Then we also have a King of the Ring announcement here.
The winner is exactly who a lot of people were thinking it was going to be, Liam included. It was Baron Corbin. He is your 2019 King of the Ring. First King of the Ring since I think 2016, possibly.
Yeah.
And the day of his coronation, he had Chad Gable come out, did a lot of little jokes, as one would do. And it was... What was it? Chad Gable destroying everything to do with the King of the Ring, including Baron Corbin, that day on Tuesday. However, Monday, your winner was in fact Baron Corbin. So congratulations, Baron Corbin. A lot of people saying that he really stepped up his game for this, and he did a fantastic job.
I mean, to be fair, he was also faced with a lot of fantastic wrestlers as well.
Very true.
Against a lot of really good ones.
Cedric Alexander, Chad Gable,
Right.
and Ricochet, and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
And one would say The Miz is not too shabby himself.
Right. Did The Miz dedicate it to his child? Is that what happened again? I'm gonna win King of the Ring for my new baby.
I'm not sure.
And lost. So, anyways, along with that, we had some returns.
A lot of returns announced, and a lot of returns have happened. One of the ones that have happened is, in fact, Mr. Rusev. He has come back, and it is announced that he is Maria Kanellis' baby daddy.
More on that in a later segment.
So yeah.
So it's like Chaos is going to be fighting Bullet Club here. Just to get into the Gorillas of Destiny, El Phantasmo, and
Tongaloa. Did he just dab?
Yeah, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa.
Tama, why did you dab?
And El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori and Kenta kind of leaving back there. Anyways, yeah.
But Rusev and Kane, he showed up for a bit to get taken out by the Fiend. So everyone's loving the Fiend right now, and
except for the people of Knox County, quite upset about this.
Wait, is that legit, or is that just?
Just, I mean, it's just a joke.
Okay, just a joke. Yeah, he took out their mayor, Mayor Kane. And then and then Bobby Lashley on Twitter has shown some images.
Do you think when he comes to the next debates for, like mayor for next time, the election comes out, he'll have pyro?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But after he won, didn't he chokeslam some fool?
I don't think so.
I thought that was one of the things where he just gave a chokeslam to somebody through a table. Oh well. But yeah, Bobby Lashley's set to come back. And we already know about Tegan Knox. But also Dakota Kai on Twitter, she's saying she's getting ready. She's very close to coming back, and she should be back by the 2nd, which is really great to hear. And there's one more, but I cannot remember the person's name. But regardless, it's good to hear they're all coming back. Any thoughts?
No, not really. At least not right now.
All right. Any last pieces of news?
There is a piece of sad news to kind of end it on. And is this going to? Yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was. It's going to force me to pull it back up again. Yes, but this is concerning Vicky Guerrero. She has recently talked about her dad passing, so we'll send our thoughts and prayers to the family as they're dealing with that.
100%. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
Yes. So that was the
also
last.
thoughts and prayers to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who was recently brought to the hospital. I don't know if you heard about that, but he got brought to the hospital because of an emergency. So your thoughts and prayers to Hacksaw and his family as well.
Yes. So after that, now I believe we covered all the major news points.
Yeah, nothing else we can really think of at this moment. So we're going to move on to the next segment, and it is the best segment of the week. It's where we talk about what we thought was the best segment within wrestling, whether it be a match, a promo, or just anything in wrestling. That's what we consider it the best segment of the week. And what is yours this week, good sir?
Before we go, just thought of something. I don't feel it's as big of a thing as other people made out to be, but Braun Strowman was at an MLB game to promote WWE's SmackDown on Fox. But it was from Fox Sports doing it, and there was a lot of backlash from, I guess, MLB fans for some reason. I think it's just real dumb. And, just people wanting to dislike wrestling. And it's like, real dumb. But anyways, we can just move on.
Oh, and then it came out kind of like the story with what is his name? Big Cass. Kind of the story with him. This also came out like a couple hours before the show of Clash of Champions happened. The draft is a thing that will be happening, and the first day is October 11th. That Friday, the second SmackDown on Fox. That's going to be the first day, and then the second day is going to be 4 days later, which is the 15th, I believe? The 14th. The 14th. 11, 12, 13. 12, 13. Yeah, the 14th. The 11th and the 14th, that Monday. So the WWE draft is confirmed, is happening, so there's that. That's going to happen as well. We weren't able to talk about it last week because it announced after our podcast. So anything else before we go to the best segment of the week?
No, nothing too major. I did just see one thing. It's a little older news, but just crossed by that Sasha Banks said that she was going to sue the fan that touched her inappropriately.
That's good.
Yeah. But anyways, yes, now we can go into the next segment.
Now, what is your best segment of the week, good sir?
So I'm trying to think back, because we have to go all the way back to Clash of Champions to see some of this stuff. Did you want to go in the meantime while I'm thinking?
Well, mine is gonna end up being quite honestly, I really had a good time with this match, and I thought the return of Luke Harper was amazing. So I'm gonna go Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan. It was a good little brawl. Who would have thought they would have done such a great job? They did, and they had me enjoying that match completely. And then the fact that they gave Eric Rowan the victory, and they brought back Luke Harper after a lot of speculation that he was in a bad situation with WWE. It was really good to see.
After a lot of thinking, I I think you would have to give it. If I can't give it to just that last sequence that we just watched, which
Yeah, that was a fantastic sequence.
Yes, and in fact, I will give it to that. Just that sequence alone gets my best of the week. If it was full match, I think it probably would have gone back to Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since I'll give props to Seth Rollins when he's in matches that I enjoy. I thought it had a lot of fire, and even though I thought maybe it showed more heat than what the build actually had, but you definitely gotta give a lot of props to that last sequence there with Will Ospreay, Taiji Shimori, and El Phantasmo there. It was real top stuff. In the end, that was so smooth and ridiculous and stuff. But yeah, it was kind of like a car crash match with Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, which is always like an entertaining stuff when done right. But it was fast paced, a lot of back and forth action, a lot of who's gonna come up with the victory. It was a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, great dragon corkscrew leg whip there from Yo. Yeah, but anyways, so those would be my best segment, best match from what I saw, and the best overall segment would have just been that sequence there. Because the smoothness from everyone involved. And so far, this is coming out to be a really good match overall. This multi-man tag team match.
And the craziness of El Phantasmo, the way he bumps.
And a great tag team maneuver there. Double maneuver. With a strong power slam. But yeah, what were you saying? The bumping of El Phantasmo? Which is a great one from right there. So I'd say if it was a little sooner, maybe the segment was a little later, it could have been this match even, because it's definitely evolved into a very fun match with everyone's getting their stuff in. You had Yoshihashi with the build up, then you just had the craziness from Will Ospreay. Oh, now they kind of like modified Dream Killer, a Magic Killer, I should say, to broken up by Yoshihashi. Kenta in there. Looks like Kenta dyed his hair.
Yeah,
it was I was trying to remember. It's like it definitely wasn't blonde before, right? So going now blonde because I guess he thinks it makes him look more heelish, more ready for Bullet Club.
See, if it was like a crazier color, he'd be L.I.J. But he's not Tranquilo at all. Which is funny, because Evil doesn't really seem all that Tranquilo. Because his name is Evil. But he actually is Tranquilo.
Yeah. Another guy who's not Tranquilo is all the guys in here right now. Sho and Gorillas of Destiny are definitely both not Tranquilo. Wow, that's a really great stuff right there.
What a way for Chaos to get that victory. That was awesome. Yeah. And they gave it to Yo, of all people.
Yeah, converted the Magic Killer into Schoolboy Roll-Up to get Yo the victory. That was a very innovative ending right there. So anyways, match of the week is Chaos versus Bullet Club.
Okay.
And now Bullet Club tries to give Foot Beatdown to get their heat back. Will Ospreay and El Phantasmo still have a lot of heat between each other. So they're going for a pile driver, yeah. Before like a sit-up pile driver. Very reminiscent of what Rikishi used to do. Except Rikishi would have done it with no hands, but still. Will Ospreay is throwing El Phantasmo off the stage. Still continues that brawl. I guess they didn't have probably Eagles there, he would have been part of this match definitely. And this could end up bringing more stuff because you have on show possibly. I would say either fight them for the heavyweight tag team, or I think right now Guerrillas of Destiny and Kenta or the 6-man tag team. That Openweight 6-man tag team. So it could be Show, and Ishii fighting for the 6-man tag team match. For the tag team 6-man Never Openweight tag team championship. So
yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, really great stuff there. We got the things and real innovative ending there. It was a real good one. Really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was a really good match.
So that covers some of our best segments. So we go on to our next segment.
The next one is Are You Serious? This is where we take a topic in wrestling and we either rant or praise it. What do you have this week, good sir?
Well, as I talked about before, there's and Show both calling for the titles. Really, but anyways, as I said before, mine is going to be in reference to all this stuff with the Canellises. And it's like, well, who's going and writing for this stuff? And it's like when people wanted more, I don't know, stuff for like, when people wanted it not to be PG, I don't think people meant this. This has just gone to ridiculousness. To the point where they even have Corey Graves going and calling what's his name? Mr. Kanellis. Mike Kanellis calling Corey Graves calling Mike Kanellis the beta cuck. And it's like this is just going into
I'm surprised they got away with that.
This is going into like extreme territory and it's like people it's like, what is this? And now Rusev gets dragged into this. So now it goes from Rusev Day to it's my baby. It's just really crazy, bad, awful stuff here. And then it even tried to bring in Ricochet. At first, it's like maybe Rusev's not even the father. It's just gonna be just that. Like every week, you're gonna bring out a new father. So to the point where some people may even speculate if that maybe just is if that is just like the fetish of the Canellises. It's like, whoa, like really, what is this type of thing? It's like. That's so crazy. It's like people wanted like more serious storylines and more in-depth stuff. I mean, I guess if it gets someone out there, but
that is such a cool looking mask.
But I mean, there's so many other ways you can get someone out there and give them storylines. That just seems so stupid and awful, and like it's a wonder now if it's even PG. It seems like you're gonna like push away older audiences, just think this is stupid, and push away more family audiences because they think it's gonna be too sexual. So real missed opportunities all around. So that's what's your rant?
Before I rant, I want to give a praise to Bushi for that awesome Carnage looking mask. That thing looks sick. However, I am going to rant about Cedric Alexander's treatment the last couple of weeks. A lot of people are saying that Vince wanted to bury him. A lot of people are saying that he's actually wrestling. He has screen time with AJ Styles. I don't care about any of that. I think the treatment of Cedric Alexander is stupid. You had a title match against AJ Styles and Cedric Alexander, and you just not even give him 5 minutes, but then you beat him up after the loss, and then the next day he loses really quickly, even with Viking Raiders at his side, and then he gets beat up again after the bell. What is the point of this? If there's not an actual long-term story that's going to come out of this to make Cedric look even better than he has been, this is just foolishness. I hope nothing backstage happened with Cedric Alexander. I don't know, but this treatment is harsh and, from what I can tell, unwarranted. So, yeah, that's all I can say about the matter at the moment. But oh my word! Also, remember how I couldn't tell you who my favorite person in not Suzuki-gun, Taguchi Japan was? I remembered now. It's Tiger Mask and Jushin Thunder Liger. I like both of those guys a lot. I forgot that they were considered Taguchi Japan. But yeah, that's my rant. I feel like it was just like missed opportunities with Rusev. It's just ridiculous and harsh. You ready to move on?
Oh, we also got a news update from, it looks like 3 hours ago.
Okay.
Congratulations in order for The Miz, as him and his wife Maurice welcome in a new child, born on 9/20th, 8:02 a.m., 7 pounds, 15 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
Madison Jade Mazanin.
What's the name?
Madison Jade.
Mm-hmm. So there's Monroe Sky and Madison Jade.
Yep.
Alright, congratulations, Miz. But yeah, so...
You should also remember that this is also another member of Taguchi Japan now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always something to remember as when thinking of favorites. And you can get better than Kota Ibushi.
There was a whole who's better, Kota Ibushi or Kazuchika Okada, and a lot of people went with Kota Ibushi here, and I was just like, you know what? I think Okada. I like Okada better, which is hey, red shoes.
Yeah, when we get into the main event here.
Did not know. But yeah, anyways.
Probably be second to last, realistically. We have Evil out here. I mean, we have LIJ out here. You know, before they go into the last match.
But yeah, then we have
oh no, there's Robbie Eagles. Hey. It's interesting that they decided to go with there instead of the Magians. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's Robbie Eagles, Kota Ibushi, and Kazuchika Okada versus Sonata, Evil, and Bushi.
But yeah, so it's time to move on to the next segment, and it is Book It Yourself. It's where we take something in wrestling and we book it ourselves, whether it be a storyline, a match, or a tournament. And we did a lot of tournaments recently, so we're gonna stay away from tournaments. And we did an entire storyline that obviously WWE has decided not to take advantage of. We gave them free money, free gold there. So we're gonna just do a match. Who is your dream match when it comes to and regardless of who is champion, who is your dream match for the WWE Championship? Who is your dream match for the AEW Championship? And who is your dream match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship? They have to be... So here are the parameters. Each wrestler has to be a part of their promotion to go for their belt. And that's basically the parameters. That's the only parameters.
Then, like you're saying, as of now, so it's not.
Yeah,
like,
as of right now.
so it's not his story. We can't bring in legends into this.
Exactly.
Okay. Trying to go through because you gotta think of like matches that haven't happened yet. For dream matches as well. The reveal of the shorts. Big pop in the crowd there. I would assume volumes though. But anyways, going to IWGP. Like I said, I'm trying to think of maybe stuff that haven't happened yet. So I will think of I'll go with a triple threat of something that has already happened. Okada has already faced both these men individually, but now all together it will be Okada versus Kota Ibushi versus Sonata.
Okay.
It's in the most athletic match of the year. That will be this setup for it.
Alrighty. For me, IWGP, I would actually take Tetsuya Naito, and he is going to be taking on Zack Sabre Jr.
Look at that. Red Shoes is trying to gauge who's most popular. Okada, Sonata. It's like it's back and forth people.
So does this count as part of their time limit? Is this why they get time limit draws? But yeah, I would say Tetsuya Naito versus Zack Sabre Jr. I would really love to see that match for the biggest championship in this promotion. I think that would be really cool.
Definitely haven't happened for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. They've had matches before, multiple.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if anybody on the roster hasn't wrestled another person, especially because of all the tournaments that they hold and the combinations that have already happened.
That's why I went with triple threat. Make it more unique. Now, I was flirting with the idea of putting someone like an Ospreay or an Ishii in there, but it's like, I don't know, I don't want to have the tension with Chaos be a part of that. See the athleticism? It's like the combination of the athleticism, the charisma, and the attractiveness level will give it like 20 stars.
It'd break the star system.
Yes.
Completely.
I'll break the solar system as well.
Oh, drat. Well, then maybe we shouldn't have that match. Alright, so let's go AEW.
It just causes a great black hole. That's an easier one because they already had one title ship match go down. So now the question is, who do we want in there? And who do we want in there? Do you want to take the start up here since I started with the IWGP?
No problem. For me, it's gonna be a 5-person match, and it's gonna be the Young Bucks taking on. Well, it's gonna be Matt Jackson taking on Nick Jackson, taking on Kenny Omega, taking on Marty Scurll. Okay. Well, he's not a part of it, so I can't count him yet. Oh. Dang it. Well, it's going to be those three taking on Luchasaurus, taking on Jungle Boy. Talk about a mental match. 3 of those people already have 5 stars plus under their belts. And I can just see this being a star-breaking match, especially if it's in the Tokyo Dome.
Should have probably just put this in as for the tag team championships instead.
But I want Kenny Omega in there, just because you have like good double team maneuvers, and then that moment where Drat, now I have to wrestle my brother, or Drat, now I have to take on a dinosaur. I think it'd be a really cool dynamic. And then you have a really good athletic triple threat. I wanted to raise the stakes, raise the athleticism. Not only destroy the solar system, but destroy the galaxy.
I'd even raise it even more.
Oh boy!
By making it an entire Royal Rumble. No, in all seriousness, go with another. Maybe go with a triple threat, or fatal four-way match. One less than you, but still have it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have Chris Jericho in there as champion. We'll have Moxley in there as competitor. We'll also put in. I'm going with what we can do with storytelling wise stuff. Maybe too soon, but I'm gonna put an MJF in there as well because I think it'd be very fun, opportunist stuff. That you can do in a four-way. I think it would actually add a lot of stuff to the match, interest to it. And then for the last competitor, I will pick somebody to choose from. So I am just gonna go with Kenny Omega. Yes.
Kenny Omega, MJF, Chris Jericho, and
John Moxley.
So who wins in this scenario for you?
In this scenario, I will give it to Moxley.
Okay. Yeah, in mine, because I forgot to say who would win in mine, it would actually be Jungle Boy. I'd give Jungle Boy the win. Just cause.
We also didn't really say for the WGP either.
Naito for me.
Okada. But yes. For that, like I said, I feel you have multiple different things happening here. You have the crazy car crash of John Moxley with the brawling and veteran nature of Chris Jericho. You have the wily MJF, waiting for opportunities to strike. Even being able to do comic relief, maybe some comic relief stuff with Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega would be kind of almost a glue forming all this together. Because I think he can do all this stuff really well, and just have the match go together. But it'll just be it begins crazy, middle's crazy, ends crazy. I think it'd be a crazy one.
That's always such a funny. It's like, why does he keep holding on to him? Why doesn't he just quickly let him go?
So that is our bucket there.
Well, what about WWE?
Yes, WWE. What is the dream match? That definitely has not happened yet. I'd go in there. He did really well for himself in a feud with Baron Corbin. So Chad Gable's in there. He's also. We have Cesaro in there. We have who else? We have coming up from NXT. You have Johnny Gargano in there. And for the last part of this Fatal 4-Way match, I'm going to put in Braun Strowman. I think you just have a lot of great stuff going around here. Technical stuff going down. You have little guy stuff. You're going to have Braun Strowman and Cesaro face off on who's the strongest person in this ring match. In the end result, I'm going to have Braun Strowman take it and finally win the big one.
Finally win the big one.
Yes, it took long enough.
Yes, it definitely did. Then I would definitely, for me, it is the Brian Kendrick taking on oh man, AJ Styles, and only one other person, and it would be I would want to say Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
And this is for the WWE Championship. And I would... The reason why Brian Kendrick will get really, really close, but he is basically the spot monkey of the match. Even though he doesn't do a lot of spots, he's definitely the one they're attacking the most, but he's getting really, really close, all the way up until Shinsuke Nakamura knees him in the back of the head, knees AJ Styles in the back of the head, and pins them both to be finally WWE champion, because he should have got that.
Okay. So that's all booking ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 100%. Mm-hmm. All right, it's time to go to the penultimate segment. It is, what do you think? It's where we take a question that we formed in our own mind and we ask our fellow compadres, what do they think? So, I can start off on this one for you. What do you think about the Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston match happening on the first Fox SmackDown show?
Was it Brock Lesnar versus
Kofi Kingston for the championship?
Man, I feel real bad for Kofi Kingston. He has to lose it on a SmackDown. I'm thinking that Fox definitely would prefer Brock Lesnar to be the title picture.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be on to him. Let's just see if it's going to be an entertaining match. That depends, you know. If Brock Lesnar likes a guy who can be good. So let's hope he likes Kofi Kingston. Wants it to be entertaining. But let's also make sure that he doesn't just go out with one F5. But if he does, that means that Kofi Kingston is stronger than Braun Strowman. So that's difficult for him.
Right.
Yeah. So, what do you think is... Here is a few of the shirts that you can look at. What do you think of these shirts designs?
Okay, okay. That is very.
You see what I mean about like the high and
yeah.
small?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do not have a good. That one is lame.
Yeah, and I would look at the one at the bottom there, bottom
Shane's. Mm-hmm.
Yes, doesn't that just look like it's the exact same font you used for Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's kind of like almost more basic.
Yes.
But that exact same shading, so it's like basic Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
yeah, that's just that is bad. That is really bad.
yeah, it's also another real bad one to me. Try to pull it up. Let me go to her Twitter. See if they have the picture from it. Probably somewhere, yeah. Well, that was not bad. I'm going to this other one that definitely now is bad.
LIJ wins it. LIJ. Yeah, so what I think they look really poorly done. whether it be basic or just unsymmetrical, it does not look very good. And that is a shame. You ready to move on to the final segment?
Yeah, because it looks like I'm not finding this.
Alright. Well, our final segment is the mailbag. It's where we take questions from either you directly or you from the sphere of all that is well, we'll do and take from the sphere that is all wrestling questions and contents and such. Well, okay, Kota Ibushi and Evil were just staring each other down. Okada just tried to do drop kicks, but Sonata had his number.
I just saw like this one. That was one of the first ones I saw of it, and it's just like you saw it just so basic and so they won.
Oh my gosh, that was so bad.
Yeah, and even compare it to compare it to this one, which I guess I'm assuming is maybe a shirt should be beforehand, or even a family shirt. It doesn't necessarily say just from Team Public, but that's another 10-hour Conti shirt. That I think
her name is completely basic and a very basic font.
Yeah, but I'm still saying like it seems better, and when I'm saying that's either from her by herself or family. So I'm saying it's like a professional company can't actually do better than an individual person. So it was not good showing.
Yeah, not at all. Alright, so let's go down to the mailbag. There's been a few questions that I've heard along the way. One of them is what is your favorite cross promotion with wrestling? For example, whenever a rapper comes in and does something, or another superstar comes in, what's been your favorite to actually see?
It's always the Flow Rider coming in to do his WrestleMania shows. It's always well needed. A nice break.
Well, they haven't had him in the last 3, so
such a shame. Real disappointment. Really. I mean, we really needed that the last one. It was too short and it cut off too much. Need more. So what's we gonna have? Unless it's just a promo. I don't know.
I think it's just a promo.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if this is a promo for the next match.
Oh, okay.
A promo for something down the road.
I know Shingo Takagi.
Yes.
Who's the other one?
I'm not sure. Anyways, but yeah.
Mine so far has been Stephen Amell. The way he's done a lot of stuff with the wrestling, he's actually been able to do quite a lot of good.
Stephen Amell, that's pretty good. If you look back, there's probably been bigger examples. The other one was Goto. But then somehow didn't recognize Goto.
It's Hiroki Goto?
Yeah, I guess from the close up pitch, maybe didn't recognize him. But yeah, it's Hiroki Goto. Yeah. So there's bigger ones. Cyndi Lauper, for instance, was a real big thing. It was like definitely both ways, which was really big. You don't always have that. So you had Cyndi going on to WWE events, and then her having wrestlers go and be in her music videos and stuff. Especially for girls just want to have fun. One of her biggest songs of the 80s. You have Captain Lou Albano playing her father in that. There's a ton of them in her music videos for the Goonies Are Good Enough.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that for the Goonies soundtrack. So it was so that was a real big one. Other ones that I've seen and liked, Stephen Amell is a good one. I gotta give credit to what's his name? Yeah, he was just we even brought him up a few weeks ago when we were talking about Nick Cage.
Yeah. His name I think starts with a J.
But you gotta give him props because the coming back from making fans really upset with them about
What is the movie again?
Ready to Rumble.
His name is David Arquette.
Yeah, David Arquette.
Definitely does not start with a J.
That's David Arquette. But yeah, I give him mad props for coming in and doing a lot of indie wrestling stuff. That's a real big deal to have legitimacy to it. Yes, there's even other ones to talk about and give props to. You give props to, say, for instance, the Insane Clown Posse. I mean, they did a lot of stuff with it. They even went to get training beforehand and did matches in WCW and WWF. And
also started their own promotion.
Yeah, they have their own wrestling promotion overall, so they're actually very beneficial to the wrestling community overall. And I mean, not they upset a few people, but I also know that there's a few people that like them. I've seen Mick Foley in the Insane Clown Posse shirt, and I'm not sure if it's probably not music wise. I don't really see Mick listening to that type of music, but it's probably more just because of actually getting to know them and liking them.
And what was it? I know on YouTube, Brian Zane used to listen to them quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
Not my kind of music, but I can see how they do have a following.
Yeah. Now I'm just kind of wondering if they ever got removed from being the gang. Because that was like a thing that they were listed as a street gang. And they wanted to have a big protest in Washington, D.C. Try to get removed from the FBI list for that. Because I mean, it's all insane. I don't think they actually had like organized gang activity come from Insane Clown Posse, juggalos and all. I mean, probably some criminal activity, but I don't think organized.
Yeah. From all the things that I've seen, I don't see organized stuff either.
Yeah. And probably a lot of that crime anyways might have just been like street fight stuff and drug possession charges. So it's not even really super bad stuff. Super out of the ordinary things.
This is more chaos versus LIJ, huh?
Yeah. So yeah. Too bad we don't know much about crossovers with other ones. I also give a crossover shout out to LT, when he came in WrestleMania 2? WrestleMania 3? It was one of the early WrestleManias.
Yeah.
I can look it up which one it was, but I would give him
the one where one of the wrestlers had to put him over, and at the end he was like, "Oh my gosh, that was rough." That guy. I think it was who was that? Bam Bam Bigelow, the one who wrestled with Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, I'm pretty sure he said that he has a lot more respect for the wrestling business.
It was WrestleMania 11. Okay. I thought it was actually an early one, but I mean, I guess that makes more sense from timelines as all. But he wrestled Bam Bigelow, and he gave it a lot of props. That's why I'd help. That's why I put him in a good regard, because he allowed it to feel a lot more physical, and you have a lot more people to say that's more real than what it is, because people just look at it as being fake. But you have one of the sack leaders of the NFL saying that it was one of the most grueling experiences that he had, and he had to get helped out of the ring. Shows that's a real athletic showing. Another great this is this guy, movie star, has come in, done some matches and promotions. Really helped Dwayne Johnson. You heard of him? He came in for those WrestleManias, had those big matches against John Cena. I mean, it was pretty something to give a movie star that big of a role and opportunity. But I mean, they went with it, and I think it worked out for him pay-per-view wise.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a lot of buy
They should do more, bring in more movie stars
but also, a lot of the MMA guys who come in, they say what you will about how a lot of times they don't represent wrestlers the best whenever they have MMA people come in, like Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler or what have you. But that transition, and even the transition to amateur wrestling into pro wrestling, definitely has helped a lot of new fans gain more respect for the business as well. So that's really cool.
The real problem is the idea that they have to go and say, like, this person's a UFC world champion, so they're obviously better than people who are even WWE world champions. And it's like, well, you're just putting down your own business with that. In the kayfabe storyline, it's like a person who's a champion at another, combat sport is better than anyone at this combat sport. And it's not like saying, like with Kurt Angle, even then he wasn't necessarily, he's not always played on top every single time. But it's like Kurt Angle was at least a gold medalist, as in saying he's the best wrestler in the world, and like a legitimate claim to that. So it'd make more sense. But even then, he wasn't put always in that legitimate spot. He had losses and stuff. That's
he had
always
an
just
entire run where he was the butt of the joke every time.
Yeah, I remember there was one story backstage where they were gonna have a thing where Kurt Angle was gonna steal Stephanie McMahon from Triple H during their feud, but like stopped because Triple H said that he just didn't see that as like something that could possibly happen. And it's like, well, someone would go like, well, it doesn't really seem like a possibility that some dude in a Speedo is going to be an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. But we throw that out the way. And it's like so that's always just the problem, is when you just come in and you like say like he carries more weight. It's like, well, that just wouldn't make sense. You wouldn't have that for, say Japanese promotions. You had Pride fighting. It was someone's Pride fighting. It's like, this guy's a former pancrase world champion, and it's like, that must mean that he must be better. And it's like, they would never do that because it would be stupid. You would bring in the big star and have him be a big star, but it would never go out of your way to go out and say, like, they're better and we're shit.
Exactly. Any other questions you've seen around in the Twitter sphere or the videos you've watched?
But this is a question: how do you liking Destruction in Kobe?
I think it's diabolical fun. There's been a really good show. A lot of very fun matches. Surprising winner, not Shota Umino, but the other guy. I already forgot his name. It's way too American for me. And then like this match is really good as who can beat the other guy up the most. Very fun tag team matches that's happened. and a lot of builds for Evil versus Kota Ibushi for that chance to be in the title match, and then of course Kazuchika Okada and Sonata being like right there. It's like, oh man, they're the next ones going at it
again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really need to put Kota Ibushi in there, really shake things up.
So that way you can say I called it.
Yeah, I get my dream match.
You really hate the solar system, don't you?
Yes. Needs to end now.
Shock the system, more like complete
Destroy.
and total annihilation.
There's a black hole the system. So you think it's right to destroy Kobe?
They've done it a few times.
The poor
before.
people of Kobe, every year, New Japan just comes in. I don't know.
To be fair, they look like they're having a great time getting destroyed.
Yes.
What's been your favorite match so far?
But think of all the cows. It would probably been that Chaos versus LIJ.
Hmm. Bullet
Chaos
Club
versus Bullet Club. Yeah.
Okay. Then I will take Bullet Club versus. Nope, wrong one. LIJ versus Chaos.
And you know what's the connecting?
However,
you know what's the connecting factor there?
Chaos.
Chaos.
Professor Chaos.
Chaos Control.
Also,
it's a Sonic Heroes reference.
I had a South Park reference. However, the Bullet Club versus Taguchi Japan was a fun match too.
Yeah, it was a fun one as well. But you probably may also like the last one with Naito versus.
Probably,
Jay
I'm
White.
liking this one too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good one.
Great show from top to bottom, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to see the New Guard do their thing. Got to see the vets really take it to each other. It's been a good show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so overall, it's good destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Which is price of, but every time they do this, price of Kobe beef, skyrockets. All the cows murdered by Minoru Suzuki, especially.
Well, this time it might not even be Minoru Suzuki
Yeah.
doing it. The other guy.
Christian Liger.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like chucking Kobe cows at Minoru Suzuki as he's like driving away. I can see like a clip from anime. It's like Suzuki, like they all try to hop in the car. It's like go and driving away. And out of the back mirror, they just see like Liger on a moped carrying the cows, and he's just chucking them at him.
Oh my word.
Is that one of the things you like about Tiger Mask and Liger? Is their how animated they are?
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Especially considering one was literally an anime character.
Mm-hmm. Tiger Mask.
Yeah.
But yeah, also
And
here's a good one.
What's the actual name for it? For like the Power Ranger stuff? Was it the Super Sentai?
Yes, Super
Yeah,
Sentai.
I mean that's definitely seems where a lot of Liger's look comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Is those type of shows. So, would you like it if they brought more back into, like more, like give Tiger Mask more storylines where he's going against more anime competitors again? Because they've done that before. Like when they gave Tiger Mask storylines and they brought in.
I would
different
love to see
anime
Tiger
characters.
Mask versus Takahashi. I don't know if they've ever had a match yet against each other, but I think that'd be really cool.
It's possible. I mean, I think it just depends on the Tiger Mask itself. Like this current Tiger Mask is a Super Junior,
Mm-hmm.
so it's so it's gonna be less
Mm-hmm.
likely. But I'm sure other ones have been heavyweights. So.
Well, Hiromu Takahashi is a Super Junior.
Oh. Yeah. For whatever reason, I thought you were saying Tanahashi instead of Takahashi. That's.
I had a feel when you started saying Super Junior, I was like, okay, I think he misheard me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hiroshi Tanahashi instead of Hiromu Takahashi.
And definitely not Yujiro Takahashi.
Yes.
Even though whenever he's in the ring, you can't be too upset. Also, you sent that where Francesca could see it, and
yes.
I was like, why would you do that?
By mistake.
Okay.
I didn't see that she was still part of that.
Yeah. I saw that you sent it to the wrong one. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be two there. One where we're both on it, and one where it's just me.
Yeah, but I thought, like, I went to the last one I did, which I thought was also just you. There. I mean, yeah, Jay White did seem like you there.
I did not oogle and ogle when she was on TV. All I did was announce her presence. Not announce, but what is the phrase?
I'm not sure. So, any other questions?
Yeah, last one I can think of is, who do you think is going to be the next indie star to jump to the WWE?
Who knows? I'm sure it's going to be like the next class of like 50 people. These stars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, eventually there's just going to be no indie left. It's going to be like any person that's done a single match. It's like, this is my first match. And it's like, after the match, Triple H comes up to him and it's like, we want to sign you to NXT. I just did one match. And it's like,
exactly.
Good enough for us. Gotta get in there before
I think it'd be cool.
Or LA Dojos.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be cool because you already have two of them to bring back the new Hart Foundation into WWE, or maybe even AEW. Bret Hart's been in both already, so it'd be cool to see them get like proper showcase of who they are, and they can be in the whole cat-like faction. Because apparently they all have cats. But I think that's a huge possibility at the moment.
Well, I mean, to be fair, David Boy Smith Jr. doesn't have a cat.
Well,
he has a bulldog.
You see, it's okay for him because his dad was also had a bulldog. So he adopted his dad's ways. That's okay. He's still a part of a family and faction with a lot of cats, so he gets a pass this time.
Okay, so any more questions?
None that I can really think of.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we can just sign out now?
Yeah, we can sign out now. I got distracted with all the suplexes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that was the show. That was our podcast. Thank you so much for watching Shooting with the Smarky Family, episode 49. It won't be next week because I have a lot of things to do for my cousin's wedding. They're having a whole party that me and my girlfriend is going to be attending.
You have a cousin?
Yes, I have a cousin.
What?
And she is getting married. Yes.
Do I know the cousin?
Desi.
Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure. I don't know all your cousins. I don't even know how many cousins you have.
4.
And I believe I met one.
Yeah. You've met the other 3 years ago when we were way younger.
So I don't remember them.
Exactly. But yeah, she's getting married, so I'm going to be with
Pass
them.
on my congratulations.
I will. I totally will. unless you're cool with doing it way later than normal, we won't do it next week. We'll come back the following week for episode 50. On top of that, yeah, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us. Please comment down below what you guys think and what your thoughts are on all the topics we brought up and talked about. And let us know what you think about destruction in Kobe. And yeah, after you do all that, please give us those sexy likes.
And the unsexy ones.
And then go and share this video and all of our videos to your friends.
And enemies.
After you do that, you might as well hit subscribe so that way you are a part of the Smarky family. And then go and ring the notification bell because
we're going to get notified for when we go live for our podcast shooting with the Smarky family every Sunday. And also when we go live for WWE or AEW events or any other type of events we may be doing live streams for. And anytime that we post any type of videos, information, polls, anything like that, you hit the bell, you get notified on it.
Reviews, prediction competitions.
Because like we don't know how much YouTube may be like hiding.
Especially us littler channels or smaller channels.
They were hitting the verified channels just recently.
Oh snap! That's mental.
Did you not hear about that?
I didn't.
They went like a mass de-verification. It's like people who were verified were no longer verified, and they were gonna do like a new thing to re-verify people. But then there was and they were gonna change it from instead of being a check mark, there'd just be like a gray background behind your name instead of a check mark. But there was enough of a backlash that they reversed all that stuff.
That is mental.
Yeah. Oh
my word.
It's like people kept trying to tell them, it's like you're just making it a lot more vulnerable now.
That is insane.
But they reversed it, gladly enough, so. But just like, yeah, they can't even help people that they have verified. So, but yeah, so make sure to ring that notification bell so you can get updated for all the stuff we put out there and watch it.
Yes. And go to Twitter and follow me at IsaJ_STP.
Follow me on Twitter at Liam_SWA.
And come back when we go live again. It's going to happen sooner rather, not next week, but the week after, unless we can figure it out. Thanks again so much for watching, and until next time, it will be awesome.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye. Hope you enjoyed your time. Bye.